It's Dave O'Neill on the debrief. I'm in Perth for the Fringe, and look out, I'm going to talk to He Huang in just a second. Okay, here I am backstage at the Great Oasis Comedy Club. And He Huang, am I saying it right?
He Huang, I think you're pretty accurate.
We just did a gig together, and you were great. I watched you last night, actually. I didn't watch you tonight because it's a bit hard when you're emceeing here to watch acts.
Yes, definitely.
And you were fantastic last night.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Because you were telling me you've only been doing comedy for like 6 years?
Yeah, this is my 6 years.
It's incredible. You've done so well, but you started...
Thank you.
So you're from China originally?
Yeah, I was born and raised in China.
But you studied it in America or somewhere? Or?
Yeah, so I went to the States for my master's degree, so in my early 20s.
You're smart.
I don't think I'm smart. I just feel I'm lucky. I don't even know how I passed the exams. It was such a blur. I just like A and B and C, just guessed.
But you're a hard worker.
Yeah, I think comedy. I guess so, because I'm obsessed with comedy. So once I'm obsessed with something, I'm just like really fully on. So how did you? I mean, it's so because of course in Australia, did you grow up with was comedy on TV or radio in China or? Yeah, when I was a kid, there's a lot of comedy going on, like in 90s. There's a lot of comedy, sitcom, and also I was obsessed with this like local Chinese stand-up comedian. So it was like I have all his tapes and stuff like that since I was a kid. So would he tour or just put out tapes or? He toured around. It was a thing then when China is not the China today. Really? Yeah. Does that happen anymore or no? No, I think he become a monk. That's comedy due to you. He was so huge. He was on national TV news, like because she speak local dialect, that southern dialect, and so be on national TV something to say about his talent and reputation in the industry. But he become a monk. Right, and so then you went to America and did your masters. Yeah. I thought I wanted. In what did you say? What did you? Public policy. I thought I wanted to become a politician. Yeah, right. And then did you start there in where were you in America? I studied in Washington D.C. Yeah, right. Yeah, in the capital city. And you went to gigs there and started comedy there. Yeah, so after I graduated, I got a job like a contract job, and then I started to find some hobbies. That's where I come into contact with stand-up comedy. Wow, and was that? I mean, it was very random. Yeah. Well, yeah, but what was the scene like there? Were they supportive or? They are, I would say when I started, they are nice, but then there's nothing, because they're a woman, you're a minority, they will give you any priority. Right. So I just have to be like other open micers, wait for my turns to do it. Yeah. So like it's a lot of them in the States. It's pretty competitive. So yes. I think the latest gig I've ever waited was like 2 a.m. Oh, God. I was the last one get on. Yeah. And so you're based in Melbourne, because we met at that cafe. Yeah, in Brunswick. We did a gig in Brunswick. That was a lovely gig, to be honest. I know, it had all the makings of a bad gig. Because it was just in like a cafe during the... Yeah. But for you, probably it's a bad gig. For me, like, it's actually cool. Well, at least there were people there to see comedy, which is good. Yeah, true. And when you start out, you do so many bad gigs. When you turn up and there's people actually there having a laugh, you're like, this is good. So was the Melbourne scene better, more welcoming than Washington or... I think in Australian scene generally are welcoming. I was really surprised when I was in Melbourne first visit. My first gig was at the Club Voltaire, and then they gave the priority for women, like female comedian. Female comedian, you want to go home earlier, you can go on the first half. Oh, that's I was good. Really surprised. Yeah, that may not happen in the States. But no, I don't think so. Yeah, right. And then, so you also had a bit of success on Australia's Got Talent. You got a bit of notoriety from that, is that right? Yeah, because I saw it on Facebook. Okay, I don't think it's a success. I was just only in the audition, but I think the audition was attracting a lot of views. So I was really surprised. I think nobody expected.
From Chinese nationals or?
I think everywhere. I have message from like Africa, India, Korea. It was like everywhere. People sending me positive message, right, on my Instagram and Twitter. But I was surprised to see a lot of Chinese followers as well, because I was surprised to know my comedy actually have Chinese people understand, love it, because I don't think they would like my comedy, to be honest, before the AGT stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I just remember seeing it and I'm going, oh my God, that's a woman from that cafe I did.
Yeah, I know. People so surprised to see me there.
And so what's happened with like your family when they heard you were doing comedy? Because obviously you've gone to America, they think, oh, you're going to be a public, politician, whatever, work in politics. What did they say when you said, oh no, I'm going to do comedy?
They're just like baffled, I think.
Yeah.
And my parents are pretty spoiling me, and then they just like, let me do whatever I want. And
were your parents middle class in China or?
They're I think self-made middle class.
Oh,
so
yeah.
My grandparents like farmers and stuff.
So they were aspirational, probably.
Yeah, they're pretty tough. I think they're very. I think I really respect my parents a lot.
What do they do for jobs?
They work for the government.
Yeah,
and then they brought everybody from the village out, to the town level. I think it's a huge improvement for the livelihood.
Oh, that's good. They're doing good stuff.
They're good people. That's why I think I am a good people too.
So are they dedicated communists? You know what I mean? Are they supportive of the government if they're working for the government? Or they
some of them are. Some of them are neutral. Some of them liberal. But then nowadays it's really hard.
Yeah.
Because you cannot show too much of difference. If you show difference, you will get really punished. Yeah. Before there was a lot of discussion, I think, when I grew up.
And so have they seen you do comedy?
My mom came to a gig in Beijing, and she doesn't understand anything in English, but she know what I'm talking about is like useless. She said, talk something about Chinese culture, Confucian. I was like, that's not a TED Talk. It's a joke.
Yeah, you got to be funny.
Yeah, but she's like, oh, whatever.
But she could get the gist that you did you do well and you were getting laughs and
I forgot. I think it's like an open mic. People like, I don't know. It was okay.
You talk about your mum on stage, which is very funny.
Yeah, some of them are from her, some of from my friends' experience. Not all her,
No.
Yeah.
But all parents are fodder.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if you don't have I don't know. I feel like if you don't have a good relationship with your mom, it's hard to talk about them,
Yeah, I talk about my dad passed away, but I still talk about him.
Yeah.
He still features heavily in my act, but...
I think they're really funny, to be honest. My parents are both really funny bones, but they just don't realize it. They see something so funny every day.
This is the thing. You look at your parents and go, they could have been comedians or something, but they just probably didn't have those opportunities, you see.
They don't. I don't think they want to.
Well, we're sitting here in Perth where my dad grew up, and he joined the Air Force when he was 15.
Oh, wow.
Just to get out of here, to get a career, get something going. So,
yeah, true.
And yet he could have, he was a very capable person, but it was hard if you're in that world of working class people. It's hard to break out.
It's hard. I think, to be honest, I feel like I am very privileged and lucky to have this kind of experience, and then my parents are pretty supportive, even though they are not happy about my decision.
I love it.
But they're like, they're like, let me do whatever I want, right? That's how they raised me since I was a kid.
We only thinking, I'm Anglo-Saxon, so we're only thinking the stereotypes of Asian parents, which is the tiger mum and all that, and so it is different for. Anglo-Saxon parents are more like, what are you doing that for? Oh, why don't you just get a normal job? They're more like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so it's wow, it's interesting though, just for you to become a comedian. It is an interesting step, isn't it, to become a comedian?
It is, but I feel like this is my true calling because, I always feel like out of place. I've tried a lot of jobs.
Were you always the funny person at work and amongst your friends and school? Yeah,
I'm funny in Chinese and English. People always good. Like laughing at my whatever I start and I say. And then I just confused why they're laughing.
Well, the Chinese speaking market is huge.
It is. It's a big thing in stand-up in China. Yeah.
So it is quite big. It's sort of...
it's really profitable.
Oh, get into that. Why not?
No, I don't care.
No, you prefer, stay in Australia.
Yeah, because I feel like in English, the reason I know I wanted to do English comedy is like the way I started is I wanted to bring Chinese perspective into English comedy.
Yeah.
So I knew when I first started, I don't want to do a stand up in Chinese. There's so many other awesome Chinese comedians, and then you just need to be in China to practice those like mainstream kind of comedy for them.
Yeah.
But it's not where my passion lies, you know?
The Chinese attitude is very funny. Your attitude is very funny. And also, Ronnie Chang, I used to know him.
Yeah.
He was a Melbourne comic.
Yeah,
his attitude is very funny.
He is.
The attitude is just hilarious.
He's an idol for us too, yeah.
Yeah. Well, man, he's done very well. But your attitude also is different again, but still very funny.
Yeah, I was frustrated. I was like, why can't I be Ronnie Chan or like Jimmy O Yang? They talk about a lot of like family-friendly stuff. Because I'm into like dark, dirty stuff.
Yeah, you're not that dirty, though.
I was like struggling though. Like that's already I think I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out my voice.
Yeah, it takes a while.
It takes a while.
It takes. So you've been in comedy about 6 years?
Yeah.
It normally takes between 5 and whatever.
Yeah. People say that because I don't know. I feel like I'm still not true myself. On the stage.
When did we do that cafe gig? 3 years ago? You reckon?
Yeah,
2 years
3 years ago.
I said to you last night, you've improved already so much from that point.
Oh, thank you.
You were, you're a lot more. You're more confident. I mean, sure, we were in a cafe just standing on the floor, in between the muffins and the cappuccinos. But to see you here, it was like you're amazing. So I reckon you've got a big future.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know. I've tried to predict people before, and it's gone wrong. And also, some of them I have been right, but some have been way off. Like, that guy's going to be massive.
I better not have kids, If I have a kid, it'll be like, well, put an end out of my career.
No, you can have kids. Don't worry about that. Plenty of people have kids.
It's harder for female comedians to do that. Yeah, because if I have kids, I definitely want to stay at home.
Yeah, right. And look after the kids.
Yeah.
But you can go and do the gigs at night,
Yeah, gigs at night. It's a tough lifestyle,
It is. Anne Edmonds just had a baby, and she's a very funny woman. She's saying with the feeding and stuff, it's so hard to get out.
Yeah, I love her. She's so funny. I saw her.
She's very funny.
Yeah.
She's very funny.
Brilliant.
Well, I normally ask these questions about how the gig went, all right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask you them. What went well tonight in your set, you reckon? What went well for the crowd here?
The crowd, I feel like, so the secret of set is always like get them like me. In the first couple of seconds, I think they like me. So even though I lose a little bit energy in the end, they still give me, the benefit of doubt.
You were saying that before we started that you felt. So what didn't go well? You lost a bit of energy?
Yeah, I feel tired. It's so funny. For the AGT bit on Australian Got Talent, they were like, "Oh, you look so calm.
Oh, really?
You're so chill." So that I love it. I was like, "Oh, really?" I was just so tired because I wanted to be more energetic. Yeah, but I couldn't sustain the energy.
Yeah, well, it can. Oh, especially we're on it. Oh, it's only 9 o'clock at night, but in Melbourne time, it's about 1 a.m.
Yeah, I have a time difference.
One of my other questions: were there any organisational hazards that got in the way? Like, were the lights too bright for you? Do you reckon, or were they right?
Oh, he said it's a little bit bright. I think I can only say first 3 rows. Yes.
Yeah, you couldn't. Do you talk to the audience much, or?
I like to talk to them, but I don't. I took the crowd work class during COVID. But
who did a lesson on crowd work?
I know, because COVID.
Was it online?
Yeah, it's online. Nothing is happening, right? I wanted to just work on my comedy, but then I still don't have the balls to really talk into like with the crowd, do crowd work. So far I do just a little bit crowd interaction.
Yeah, great.
So not like too much of crowd work.
It takes time to.
Yeah.
But someone once said to me, always know where you're going with it, or have a joke to back it up, or
I'm not there yet. Like even for like local jokes, I think I'm still learning how to do it and stuff. So it's like a bit by bit, the confidence.
Yeah, so you come to Perth and try and do some. I always do about 2 or 3 minutes at the top of anything I can think of. If you're in Perth, talk about
for
Perth.
my solo show, I do that, but for like shorter set, I don't do that normally.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So you're making some Perth observations?
Yes.
Have you been to Perth before?
No, it's my first time being here.
So what's your impression? I'm always interested because I've been coming here since I was a little kid because my dad was from here. But what's your impression of Perth?
I heard so much bad things about Perth.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
What, from your friends or?
Yeah, people surrounding me. They're like, Perth is so far away. It's a mining town. people are really easy to laugh. But came here, I think it's better than Adelaide. Oh, whoops.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you know what? It's similar to Adelaide in a way, but it's just more spread out.
Perth is more spread out. I think I like the urban planning here too. It's pretty nice the way they design the city. It's not too big, like too congested. It's not too spreading out. So I think there is a nice way about Perth, but it's just so far away from everywhere.
Yeah, I FaceTime my partner and kids. I was walking from the hotel here, and they're like, "There's no one on the streets. Look, there's no one on the streets." Because kind of you can walk here like and not see anyone for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty spreading out. I think people are a few here. Yeah. And also, I call them People's Republic of Perth.
Yeah, they love that.
Because it's the same time zone with China.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, like, there's no time difference.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Same time. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And also, Mark McGowan kept it like a Fortress Perth during lockdown. He wouldn't let anyone in.
Yeah, I was supposed to come last year, and then I have to cancel last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really sad. But then, I don't know. I think people got to do. I don't know. It's a decision, right? Made. And Melbourne has tougher ones, though.
And so you did this course online, and I assume it was a man or a woman who taught you how to do crowd work.
It's a gay man.
A gay man.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was very informative. I really loved it, enjoyed it.
And was it just a video, or did he interact with you?
Interact is like class. I think those comedians, it's an American comedian.
Oh, wow.
It's like Australian comedian. They don't have anything else to do. So there's a couple of them for a formal, like sort of online class team. So they're trying to like formulate some class, like writing, intro writing. So I always wanted to work on my crowd work because I think that's my weakness, because I'm so scared, like what if people say something I don't understand, stuff like that. So I did learn a lot from that, some techniques. You probably can't just chat with them, they will share with you, but then they were organized and then teach you or just tell you, share with you in a more organized way. And
you did quite a few courses during lockdown.
COVID, yeah, I did like advanced stand-up writing, late night, SNL kind of writing pack, and also crowd work. And I did creative writing as well.
And you think they've helped you in some way? They would have helped
tremendously, because I think English is my second language, and I'm so obsessed with comedy, right? I watch a lot of comedy.
Yeah.
I appreciate comedy. Like, I appreciate you when I first met you at the Brunswick. It's such a good to watch. And then every comedian who is really like good, I just love watching them to do their stuff. Because like, it just brings so much perspective into my life.
Yeah, right.
And I wish I couldn't know if I'm not doing comedy, right? So like having those people teach me their perspective of comedy helps a lot. Because they are like 10 years, 20 years of comedy.
It's like any plumbing or medicine.
Yeah. Even though it's subjective, but they are sharing their story with you. I think it's really helpful.
I love watching other comics, and you always learn something. And
it is.
I can't believe there's heaps of these younger comics. They'll come and do the gig, but they'll leave before the headliner goes on. I'm like, I would stay and watch.
Really? That's how you learn.
Yeah, you gotta watch.
Watching it. Yeah.
And it's different from you. I mean, it's good to watch stuff online, but it's good to watch stuff in the room live.
Yeah. That's what I want to do. Like, that's what I wanted to watch. Like, when I first started, people always tell me, you need to go watch those B-level comedians work with the room. That's where you can learn most how to handle the room, how to do the crowd work, how to learn how they handle different rooms.
Yeah.
Because A-level comedian, they do theater show, you cannot learn that much because it's the same as I watch Netflix special, right? You can appreciate their jokes, their perspective, but then it's really how to work with the room. You have to just go to the comedy clubs to watch it.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, it's very important.
Well, it's been excellent talking to you. And are you doing any more festivals in the year, or?
Yeah, I'm doing Melbourne and then Sydney Comedy Festival.
Cool. Well, I'm sure people will listen to this and come and see you.
Please come to see me. My show is called Bad Bitch. So I'm not sure I'm bad enough that I'm trying to.
Yeah, you seem like a very nice person, but you're a bit more bad on stage, maybe.
Yeah, I wanted to have that persona because I have so much anger issues. So. Working on it.
Well, that's a lot of people do. You know what I mean?
Comedians, right?
They always pretend everyone's laid back, but they're all angry underneath.
Yeah.
So, He Huang. Did I say it right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, I'm bad at pronunciation.
You're doing really well.
No. Well, good to see you, and good to see you in Perth.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's always good to watch you and then chat with you.
Oh, it's good fun. I'll see you in Melbourne.
See ya.
Bye.